Welcome to this week's episode of Talking Derry City, and we're all in good form, Kev. Hey, we're obviously Celtic Park, huge success, 1-0 victory over Shamrock Rovers. Nobody's seen it happening, did they?
No, I certainly didn't, but it was a fantastic night. Credit to everybody at Derry City Football Club, Derry GAA. You couldn't have picked a better night. Weather-wise, the pints were flowing, the players produced it on the pitch. You had the flames before the game. Everything was just, it was great. And as I say, I know a lot had to go on behind the scenes, from Paddy Simpson to Bert Martin to Karen Pine, Lawrence Moore, so many other people that helped out. You obviously, Diamond corrugated too, put a lot of money in to be helping out and getting the signage and all was up around the ground.
I think I came up from Dublin the night before.
There was a lot, and as I say, I know Derry worked with the Derry GAA and they get the pitch line, all these wee things that everybody just came on the night and went, hey, this looks impressive, this is great, but there was so much that went on in the build-up, but then mainly in the last 48 hours, last 72 hours, it really came together. And again, it was volunteers, a number of them that came in and helped out and put signage up. And then even the wee things that we seen, it was on social media behind the scenes with the pictures up in the dressing rooms, all these type of things. That just wasn't done by there was a lot of people behind the scenes that so many they mentioned. You can't mention them all, but as I say, the big players that deserve the credit, as I say, was Diamond, Paddy Simpson, Bert, Karen, Lawrence is the ones that I definitely know. And as I say, I know the whole board and the GAA worked together. And thankfully, the players produced it in the pitch. We'll talk about the game in more detail, yes. But as a spectacle, 7,000 fans. It was a great night for Derry City and the city itself and Derry GAA.
Well, Bert Martin was on with us the week before, and he estimated, optimistically, we thought there'd be between 7 and 8, and he wasn't far wrong at all. 7,104 was the official number, but it was just a brilliant atmosphere. And as you said, everything from the weather the whole way through, the result that couldn't have gone much better. And you're just hoping, and that was the whole thing behind it. You're enticing new fans, new sort of blood on here, that they're going to get a taste of that and think, we could see this every week. We could go every other week. They matches here. It was a brilliant spectacle. Super occasion, and it kind of give them license. They do that because of the space in Celtic Park. I went on a wee round the fan zone at the start just to get a wee feel for it. And it was a fantastic sort of atmosphere. Everybody was buzzing. It was new for everybody. Some people hadn't even been in Celtic Park before. And people who actually love and around the Brando area. I was shocked at a couple of conversations I had with people never actually ventured on. So hopefully you have that wee crossover now, the codes, and people go to the Ulster Championship matches or whatever too, and vice versa. The people that are interested in the GAA that come over to the Brandywell, we've already kind of seen since the relationship was formed with Owen Beg as well too. So everybody was a winner, really.
It was, and as I say, even looking at O'Neill's with a pop-up shop.
Apart from Rovers.
Rovers weren't, Stephen Bradley wasn't a winner, but no, as I say, the O'Neill's and the pop-up shop, and you could sort of see everybody worked together, and look, it's you're hoping this is the start of it, as in, the first team, yes, and everybody talked about the first team, but this sort of showed to the council, showed to the city, this is what can happen if it's done properly, work is put into it, we can, put on a show, and Derry City certainly done that.
You just hope. Obviously, we've got Bows now away again on Friday, but then it's a quick turnaround for the bank holiday game and we go. And you just hope it's a similar kind of atmosphere, and hope it might be because it's a bank holiday and stuff like that. Hopefully the weather's kind.
Yeah.
But there's no reason why the all 5 games that are going to be at Celtic Park can't be the same. And if the results come on the back of that as well, then it's going to bode very well for Derry City.
Well, that's it. It was just even the sort of wee touches too, the Mark Farron and Ryan McBride behind the nets. All these wee sort of touches were fantastic, and it looked really well on Virgin Media, and they got the drone footage of looking down, and I know everybody's talking about the pitch, Stephen Bradley is, and whatever else. That's fine, but as a spectacle, as a whole event, it was hat tip to Derry City and the Derry GAA, but it worked outstandingly well. And as you say, you're hoping it's the first of many. In this case, the next 4 back at Celtic Park. Okay, it may not be the 7,000 its supporters, because there was going to be that feeling, right, it's the champions coming to town, the novelty, the first game at Celtic Park, but that doesn't matter. You have to build on this. The club know that themselves, and they will try and get a decent crowd. I think the pricing structure worked a treat too, so I think that'll be a case of we'll look at that, and then when you know, it's a case then of trying to build on this now for the Galway game, but we'll just talk, I suppose, about football and the game, because as I say, we've praised the club and the GAA, and rightly so. As for the game, it probably won't live long in the memory, to be brutally honest with you. I didn't think it was... I know what Stephen Bradley's saying, and to be fair, Tiernan's is the same. The only thing I would say to Stephen Bradley in particular was he had a chance to switch the game to Tala.
Yeah.
He and Shamrock Rovers decided to not switch the game to Tala, so you could have played the billiard table pitch at Tala. Instead, you wanted to come up to Celtic. You knew what the Celtic Park pitch was going to be like.
When you're on the kind of form they were leading on it as well, in terms of results anyway, maybe not, their performances weren't top notch, but in terms of their own standards, but results wise, you just wanted to keep that going. And if you did have a chance, they bring it to Tala. Now I know the reasons behind it were because if it had been switched, it would have fell on like having two games. The 2 game.
It was going to be Derry and Waterford Friday, Monday.
Which wouldn't have been logistically, it would have been great. So you can understand that. It's probably a case of let's go up and get it done. Who knows what it's like? It's, you know, the pitch will be a leveler maybe, but the Derry did do, and in fairness, they had a lot of work done on the ground too, didn't they? Like we were there on the Thursday, and it did look patchy. They were training on. I think that was their first training session. And it was like only a 40-minute training session. So it wasn't a case that they had been. They
were there all week.
And then see, even when it's relined, I got the first 5-10 minutes of the match was just chaotic, because I got the feeling that it was trying to get their bearings, because there was lines everywhere.
Is that out, or is that Early Beach? Can I lift it here or outside?
So it's a pitch without a pitch, and they're kind of trying to get their bearings. I thought, but once it settled down, I thought they managed it very, very well, and you know, it wasn't a spectacle. When you're playing on a pitch like that, it's not going to be all on the ground, because your first touch has to be brilliant.
Yeah.
And you could see it when they started rolling it about. Even when Derry started rolling a couple of passes about, you knew, right, this isn't going to work. It's more unpredictable than the Brandywell artificial surface.
Yeah, and it was a case of like back passes weren't happening. No. I think maybe Patrick McLean may have done one, or Jimmy Stott, one of the two of them, give it back to Eddie Beach. It bounced up like a Curtly Ambrose bouncer in the cricketing term. Eddie kicked it out for a throw one, and it was a case of
we're crossing all sort of boundaries here.
Exactly, boundaries like that. He's putting his hand up. They apologise, sharp that Eddie. I realised I should have kicked out. So that's what you were dealing with. But you know, the one but unbelievable skill was John O'Sullivan's effort hitting the bar, brought her down to his chest, and great strike. And I don't know if Eddie Beach gets a touch on it. I don't think he does, but hits the bar 100%. Like, you know, and it happens. Look, there's just going to be moments in games, and you know what a talent he is. And there's so many of the young Rovers team, young players that are in their squad, and they're teenagers or early 20s, that you're sort of going, right, you can see why Arsenal's signing young Victor in midfield. He's going to be making a move to Arsenal in a couple of years. But from Derry's point of view, I think it was actually Liam Coyle mentioned it, Radio Foil. Derry adapted themselves better than Rovers to the conditions. And to be fair to James Clarke, who I know you spoke to, and we'll hear from later on, but he was sort of saying the atmosphere, everything, they just all bought into it. They went and attacked and pressed early and got the crowd up, and that's what you have to do in occasions they got. And to be fair to Derry, they did it.
Because on a pitch like that, when Rovers can't pop it about, that press was, you know, that early press was very key to how Derry went about it as well. He just didn't let them settle, and we're not used to see Rovers play like that. I think Stephen Bradley afterwards was saying, we've never played like that before ever. I would like to see the stats. You know, so it wasn't. They were out of their comfort zone, and fair play to Derry for doing that, but Tiernan mentioned the heart and the hunger and desire, and you have to. There was no hiding place there for Derry players, especially because 7,000 people out to see, and you know it was a big occasion. If that doesn't give you a lift, I don't know what will.
Exactly.
But every person to a man. Like, there was a few outstanding performers on the day, but I think everybody deserved credit for how they went about their business.
Well, this is it. You know, rightfully, you know, you can be singling out obviously James Clarke, Josh Thomas, Winchester. You know, you can be there all
Paddy
day.
McLean was excellent. Beats.
I just thought exactly. Beats on a great save late on. Graham Burke tried to give him the eyes, and it was a great save.
He threw one out too, like as well.
And the quick counter and all. But that was the time me and Jack Byrne brought down his 6-yard block in his chest and turned around. I'm like,
that was beautiful.
That was unbelievable. Jack Byrne was like,
centre half.
What are you doing centre half? Bringing that down there? But no, you're right. Like there were so many. I think it was just a good all-round team collective performance. And you know, Tiernan Lynch couldn't have asked for anything more. The fans give everything. The players give everything, and it was shown. Even the people come on. You know, Big Dippo was holding things up. Riley had the effort, but say McGinty in the counter attack. As I say, it was how Tiernan Lynch would have wanted the performance to go, went to a T.
We mentioned James Clarke. He's the man that has his name sort of etched in the history books. Derry City, local sporting history as well too. And I seen that Derry City presented him with a wee memento of the occasion as well too. The first League of Ireland goal scored at Celtic Park. And we'll hear from him now, and then obviously we'll have a wee look back at his performance and the goal itself. Here's James Clarke. What an occasion this was, and to get the one and goal, I'm sure you're delighted with that.
Yeah, I'm delighted. There's a brilliant result, really. I think like the atmosphere here today was brilliant. There was a big crowd here, and they really spurred us on in the game. And yeah, I think to get the goal and to hang on for the result was brilliant. So hopefully it's something we can build on. You've played in a few GAA pitches in your past, haven't you? Like, you know, but what was it like playing on this one? I know that was getting a bit of criticism in terms of the condition of the pitch, but what was it like to play on? Yeah, look, it wasn't the best, but I mean, it wasn't the worst either, really. We played into the surface well. I thought we got after them when they had the ball and made it difficult for them to pass it around. So I thought we adapted to it really well, and yeah, look, it's enjoyable when you win, I suppose. So. Yeah, in terms of yourself, like you're really kicking on the form. That's 3 goals and 5, isn't it? So how are you feeling? Obviously, everything's sort of coming together for you now at the perfect time, really. Yeah, look, I think I'm starting to impact the games a lot more. Well, I'm like scoring assist, and I've just been involved a lot more, and I think it's something that I really want to build on as well. It's just the start for me really here, so I need to keep showing what I can do, and yeah. See, in terms of the last 2 results, Shelbourne, Celtic Park, Shamrock Rovers here, who have been flying under this game as well too. Like, what? That's a real statement, doesn't it? These last couple of games. Yeah. Look, there was a lot of expectations on us at the start of the year. I mean, people expected things of us, so we had a slow start to the year. But I think we knew how good we are, how like the players we have in the squad, and it was never a case of panicking. It was just a case of working hard, and the results will come. We've got two good ones on the bounce, but I mean, it's something to build on. It's nothing, you can't really be happy with it. Just 2 results. You have to go to Bows now next week and get another win and to keep building on it. But yeah, it's gives us a lot of confidence really, and something that we probably needed as well. I think the fans are seeing what you. I know you got 8 goals last year for Bows. What you're like on around the box, you just sort of come alive. See, that's where you're at your strongest, isn't it? You feel like you're really sort of starting to come under your own now. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think look, if I can keep just getting involved, getting in amongst the goals, and then being involved in the play, trying to affect things and set up chances, I think I'm happy. So hopefully I can keep going. What was it like again celebrating? Obviously, it's a huge crowd, 7,000 here tonight. Yeah, I'm not sure about the celebration, to be honest, but it was really good. I think there was stand was packed, like, so it was buzzing. There was a bit of a run, I think, from the sideline to the crowd, but yeah, no, it was really good. And as you said, that you're going back to your former hunting ground at Bows, like it's a great stadium. Yeah. What kind of reception do you think you're going to get? Because you give it your all there, didn't you? Like you would like to think that you get some sort of a welcome reception. Yeah, look, I think when I was there anyway, I was really well supported. I think look, the fans really took to me there, and obviously I've left, so I'll probably come back and I'm expecting a bit of stick really, but I won't look into it too much. I think it's football as well, so I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a brilliant place to play football, and I think it'll be a great game. And just finally, just about Celtic Park, what do you think? Do you think this could be, I know it's a cliche, but a bit of a fortress for you, the next 4 games that you have here? I think that has to be a target really. I think we have to make it a bit of a fortress. We're only here 4 games, like I think, yeah, we have to make it a bit of a fortress. You've seen how good the atmosphere was tonight. I mean, it was incredible really, last 10 minutes, the noise coming from both sides, so it's up to us really to keep giving the fans that's something to cheer on, and to keep us to keep us pushing on. So yeah, that should be the aim. Yeah.
There you go, Kev. So he was absolutely buzzing. I think my interview there, video interview, was probably the last of about 10. I know you and the Dubs were chatting before that for about
Shea
50
Callister,
minutes.
I think, still waiting for him because he was giving it a laugh.
He was dripping.
I said, she'll be going home by Tuesday, Shea, and he was going, I know.
But it's his enthusiasm, isn't he? He's just like a wee kid, like playing football, and that's the way he plays his game. And he's starting to hit a bit of form now, which is brilliant. Going down to Dalymount Park, which we will preview obviously later on, but it's for him, that's going to be a very special kind of night for him. But he's hitting form. He comes alive in the box, but he's setting up goals, and he's setting up chances, and he's just 100% effort, like with everything, and the tackle, and his closing down. He's got a bit of everything, doesn't he? Really?
He does, like, and he's close control, beating players in when he wants it. He always wants the ball, and 2 or 3 Rovers boys around him. Maybe the ball's on the string with him, and he's just getting around him. He finishes a goal well. There was 2 or 3 people stabs at it, like
chaotic,
he finished it lovely in the bottom corner. But you're right, he's starting to hit form. He's had 3 goals in the last 5 games. Derry unbeaten in 4, won their last 2 in the bounce. It's just that keeping that momentum, and he's been a massive part, because you're if you're sitting in the stand and you're Michael Duffy, you're looking, everybody else has been going, we've been talking all season, right, Michael, who's going to do it? Well, James Clarke at the minute is that man that's stepping up, and if you're Michael Duffy, you're going to go, be great when I get back in there, they've been playing alongside him.
Because then teams, obviously they're doubling up Mickey or whatever, he's the danger man, he's the man that makes things happen. Now you've got another guy to kind of worry about, who can come up with a bit of magic, and it's about the rest of them too. They're all playing their own roles, but you need those match winners, and he is a match winner, and it's paid off. Like, obviously Friday night was fantastic. You just got to keep that going. Like, it was after the goal, it was a long time they sort of hold out a 1-0, and they haven't, their defence admittedly hasn't been the strongest sort of attribute, or so that was always going to be a kind of long night, and at the end as well too, you just didn't know, it was a wee bit unpredictable. I thought we were a wee bit detached in the press box because it's soundproof for anybody that hasn't been in there. You could barely hear the referee's whistle and stuff like that. So for me, not to have a negative, but it was the only thing I kind of took away from the night where you couldn't...
I would like to point out, he has brought up the negativity.
It's not like
this is negative, boy. Something the fence negative, boy.
But this is so like maybe perhaps bring it in the next board meeting at Celtic Park, whenever they have a wee, like, hey, maybe we should open it one day. Or
I'm not getting involved, folks. Again, Simon Collins, you can even send them an email if you want.
We missed out in the atmosphere during the game slightly, and not beforehand and not afterwards, obviously, but the whole thing, I think, if you were kind of detached from that, am I right, Tim, or wrong?
No, well, no, it was funny because Gary Ferry was sitting beside me, and I
heard you more in the crowd.
Well, that's not a good thing. Gary was back to his old self where he was panicking, because I know Carl Winchester to tackle it on inside the box, and he was shouting, stand up, no, he was panicking. And then I could see it was full time. Gary's going, no, it's a free out he's given. I went, no, it's full time.
That's what I mean.
Because Jimmy starts jumping in Eddie Beach, and he went, all right, it is over. So you're right, we couldn't hear it.
And the scoreboard didn't help too, because it went back to 0 at half time.
I'm not getting involved with him, by the way, folks. I'm disowning him here. This is ridiculous. This is the height of DMB-ness I've heard in a long while.
Oh, I have a list of DMB stuff here.
No, we're not having it. No, it was a great night and a victory, and we'll not worry about the soundproof in the press box. Only Simon can complain.
Well, I'm going to get the mufflers on next time, so we'll have to listen to you guys. But no, just one. Just for the record, Kev, like, I'm not going to harp on about negative things, because it was a brilliant, magical night, and let's hope for many more now. In terms of the run we're on now, Kev, that's 2 in the bounce, and how unpredictable is this league? Like, you look at the likes of Sligo, and they couldn't buy one. Now they've got 3 in the bounce. 3 in the bounce. Well, you've got Shelburne, there's nosediving. Then you've got the obviously Pats are up there, like, but Bows was it 5 out of 7 ones at the start of the season. Now they
can't buy one.
No, they can't buy one. Is it 4 now? Or
they're 3 in the bounce.
They've no ones in the last 7, so it was a bit like ourselves.
Yeah.
Only in reverse. So it's just unpredictable.
Well, that's it. You look at the results last week. I'm just looking here. Shelburne lost 4-3 at home. The Drogheda haven't been 2-0 up at half time. Pats beat Bows 3-1 after Bows scoring after 8 seconds. You know, this is how crazy it is. Waterford, stoppage time equaliser against Galway. Obviously, Derry beating Shamrock Rovers. And then, as you say, in the Saturday night, Sligo 2-0 victory against Dundalk. Nobody could probably see that coming. 2 ex-Derry men scoring, Will Fitzgerald and Cian Cavan. A lovely finish by Cian Cavan, I might add too. And to be fair, the Wolves a good finish too. But you're right, the league is that sort of unpredictable. And you're looking now, you've Pats now top of the league, point clear of Shamrock Rovers, Dundalk 21 points, Bows and 20, and Derry and 17. At the minute, you're sort of looking at the other end. Waterford are starting to get a wee bit itchy feet. They're on 5 points, and then Shelburne and Drogheda are on 13 points. Waterford are getting caught adrift at this early stage. They'll want to try and get on.
But it's not a big surprise when you're chopping and changing.
Well, this is it. Shelburne is the one where it's just completely nosedived. Like they had a bit of a wee boost last year after the whole Damien Duff had left, and then I seen Duff was on there last week when he was on chatting about it, and he was sort of saying the players were letting Joe O'Brien down.
Yeah.
Well, by the sounds of it, they certainly let him down on Friday night, being 2-0 up, and I watched the highlights, and the defending is shocking. But I think I alluded this a few other podcasts ago. Joe O'Brien was saying that schoolboy defending's not good enough. You can't keep saying this.
No.
You know, something has to be done, and at the minute, Joe O'Brien is certainly under pressure. There's no two ways about that. Like, you know, they spent big, they have a big budget, and they are nosediving for him at the minute.
They're too good a squad, like to be like playing the way they are, and like
they're conceding goals for fun. Defensively, they're shocking.
And that's what was shocking about it, because that was always their strength.
Yeah.
And they had a couple of wee match winners on there, like they sort of get them ones. But that is a head scratcher, that one. But nothing would surprise me if we're 3 weeks down the road and they've
won 3 in the bounce.
It just does that crazy. And I think we sort of, you talk about Joey Bryan saying, you know, this is what's going wrong, but nothing's changing, and that was the same with Tiernan Lynch too. He was all like, we're conceding these stupid goals, you know, but they kept faith with it. You know, a lot of people, he was under a lot of pressure over that Easter period, and a lot of people calling for his head, ex-players, you know, a lot of people questioning the fan base was probably 90% against him, wanted him out. Suddenly, like, it just changes like that, and you have to give him credit because he's kept faith. Now he changed it slightly with a forward at the back. Yeah. Tactically, I don't know if there was much changed other than the formation, you know, because it's, you know, we haven't been playing free flowing football. Obviously, the surface that would not help on Friday night, but I don't know if as much has changed in that regard. But it's the heart and the hunger, and he's got the players are just giving everything, you know.
Well, that's it.
That counts for something.
That does count for it, like big time, and that helps you. It's half the battle when you get that. But it's that now the quality. Can you bring a bit of quality? Let's say now you have quality players, and you're James Clarke, you're Mickey Duffy, Dippo, Josh Thomas up front, runs all day, really good technically. Just at the minute, he just needs a goal to be fair to him. Darren Markey was very good the other night too. You know, you do have the technical, but it's just getting that wee bit of something in the final third in particular. They create chances. It's not like they're battering teams. It's 1 or 2 chances, and then you know they get out of there.
For me, it's the midfield. It's the link up between the midfield and that's, I don't know if you looked at it, but how many times have we had the same midfield going on the back-to-back games? It's been, I think there's been a lot of changes, whether it's because Winchester's out injured or wherever, or James McLean's been in and out. I was able to get on to James's big news, like that was sort of, it kind of took everybody by surprise at the timing of it, I suppose. But there's been a lot of changes within that midfield area. I think once there's a bit of settled side there, you might get that link up better between the attack and defense, midfield area, and create more chances, be more inventive in that area. But I think it's slowly sort of taking formation. So you just like green shoots.
Exactly, and watch his space. No, nobody is, certainly from our point of view, nobody's sort of saying, right, that's it. No, we've made it. We're ready to start going to the summit here. It's 2 games, 2 very different games. You know, Shelburne had a lot of chances in the second half down there. Eddie Beach was man of the match. And Friday night against Shamrock Rovers, it wasn't the greatest game, but
it's all the moments you mentioned. O'Sullivan's effort that goes on, it's different, and but it's the flip side of that. It's been like that in a lot of games. Like, you know,
exactly.
if a goal goes on early or if a chance goes on, then it changes the whole thing. And every game up to this point has been fairly nip and tuck. I know the Rovers game was probably where we were just dominated off a pitch, but it was 1-0.
Yeah,
you know, but it's so there's you just hope now that it keeps saying building blocks. We're building for it. Hopefully that's the case now. We go down the Bows, but in terms of James McLean, it was kind of overshadowed the Celtic
Thursday,
Park.
The Thursday. I know you were up at the presser, and you know, I think Tiernan, he probably didn't know what was going to come out, because Tiernan sort of says that, you know, he's our only real doubt. When you use the word doubt, you're thinking might have a chance. There was as much chance of James playing as me playing, so Son had just sort of making the announcement when he did, and the sort of club in the back heel, the back foot, not knowing what was going on.
Not just the maybe Tiernan not being aware of that it was happening, or he was going to announce it, which he obviously wasn't. But it was the fact that it was a big build up to Celtic Park, and you know, it was just it kind of overshadowed. It had the headlines. Obviously, James McLean's who he is. He's an Ireland Centurion. You know, he's 103 caps. He's a huge name. Like, so that kind of threatened to overshadow things a bit. Now, in terms of the news, thankfully, it doesn't seem now that he is going to need surgery. He's come out and he's on TikTok or something. Was today, which is we're recording Monday. Saying that it wasn't as bad. He's obviously had the consultation with a surgeon, and he'll not require any surgery. It's certainly not the end of his playing career, like, thankfully, and hopefully a wee bit of rest, and you know, and he's back, and we get to see the best of James McLean down the line. But I think it was there was a lot happening over that couple of days, wasn't there?
Well, this is it, and it's one of them too where James is obviously talking about the 4G, and it hasn't helped training on it and playing on it. Well, if he's out now, what I think he says, you were saying social media says 4 to 6 weeks he's probably going to be out for, or whatever it is. Yeah, but at that stage you're going probably back to the Brandywell grass pitch, you know, so James will be a lot more happier, and any training pitches you're on will be hopefully touch wood if the weather or the sun's still shining here at the minute. If the weather picks up, the pitches pick up. It is always after, from end of May, start of June is when the pitch start getting better throughout the entire league. So
just know the Sligo Showgrounds is always it always sort of picks up around there too. But I seen him walking on the training, James, and he was just carrying the boots, but he looked in a bad way in terms of his hip and the way he was lumping too. Like, so it's certainly not a nice injury that he's got, and so hopefully it goes well the rest time and he comes back and we see the best of him, as I said. Like, but turn our attentions, Kev, to another massive one. Like, so you looked a few weeks ago, or 2 weeks ago, and Tiernan Lynch was in serious hot water. Like, you looked at the fixtures, and it was away to Shelburne and home to Shamrock Rovers at Celtic Park, all the unknowns there, and then away to Bows, and you were thinking, where is this man getting a result out of? And now we're going on getting 2-1s in the bounce, but and Bows are can we say they're nosediving?
Well, yeah, they're certainly not, you know, flying high at the minute. They're struggling form wise too, and they've lost a few in the bounce. I just think from Derry's point of view, you know, it's probably a good time to maybe get Bows. Now, Bows will be also saying the same thing. If, look, no disrespect to Derry, they've won 2, yes, but you know, we played really well at Tala, and like they did play very well at Tala. I watched a good lot of highlights of that, and they battered Rovers that night, and they lost narrowly.
Dodgy
penalty. I can see why it was given, and you know, we talk about VAR. Probably VAR after a few attempts it might have overturned it, but no disrespect. The first time I seen it, I went, it's a penalty, and that's normally my reaction. If you see it first time and you think it is, that's what the referee. I know he gets a better view and he's in closer to the pitch. And the answer, I get all that, but I'd rather have that there and us debating about it a couple of days later or a couple of weeks later than having VAR, and it's because
Without a doubt. And
VAR's a disaster, folks.
Rennie, I know you're proud of him, like, but he was mentioning about the XG. He's a big man for XG and stuff like that. So he's saying even though the results are going against us, if you look at the stats, we should be right up there challenging, you know. So what do you think of that?
I think you should maybe ask the Bulls fans. Do they think that's the right thing?
Well, he's like Rennie's up and down like a yo-yo, aren't they? Like in terms of how the fans feel.
Listen, the fans had him sacked 4 or 5 times last year at half time, and then they came out and won the second half, and then they went, he's our man. But even look at the fixtures next week, just before we get to the Derry game. You've Drogheda, Jacqueline Hyde, home to informed Sligo. Dundalk looking to bounce back after losing to Sligo against Shelburne, who Joe O'Brien still there, needs to get a victory. Galway against St Pat's. Stephen Kenny's side starting to motor and getting the results. Shamrock Rovers, I expect a comfortable home victory against Waterford. I can't see how Waterford will change that around. I could be wrong, but Rovers back in Tala, they'll be a lot more happier in their own surroundings. And obviously then, as you say, we'll get on now to the Derry game. Look, away at Bows, Derry's record, it's decent down there. Like,
and they're always classic games. Like that touched wood.
Don't be leaving early, and it should be a classic. So to be honest with you, you could probably leave early and it'll be 0-0 the way we were building it up. But no, I also think that I remember coming back from Shelburne and I was in the car and I was chatting to Lawrence and Jason Mann, and I was saying, look, nothing would surprise me if Derry picked up 4 points from their next 2 games, because they're playing against teams that'll sit down and then you'll hit them on the counter. So they've got 3. You now go to Bows, who will come out at them. And Derry have the players, Josh Thomas and Michael Clarke will be itching to get back there. You have Dippo to come on, or whatever way he wants to start it, but you have players to hit Bows in the counter attack, and that's what Derry have done down there. Like, you know, last year's Dippo was just unbelievable.
Oh, Dippo, that was his best game in a Derry shirt.
So
probably.
That's what I'm saying. I think that this could happen. That's why I'm not surprised. Now then, because we will preview then obviously the Galway game then in Easter. I keep saying Easter, but Bank Holiday Monday. Bank Holiday Monday. That's the game I was sort of saying going up the road going, that's the one where I think I'd be more concerned with. Because Galway's going to... this is prior to any talk of Celtic Park pitch or any of that crack. It was just the way Galway will play against them. Yeah. They'll sit down and hit there in the counter.
Sure, look at down there when we played them, like, and that was...
But they went for it, to be fair to them. They went for it then late on, like, so... well, to be fair, they had chances before that. Eddie Beach was man in the match. But it is that case where Derry against teams that are going to sit down, they can hit them in the counter, it works well. It's now playing against a Galway team that might come out at them. So I'll not be shocked if Derry go to Bows and get a victory, to be brutally honest with you, because it'll suit them. And then I'll equally not be as shocked if Galway get a positive result then at Celtic Park on the Monday.
It would be some shift in momentum, like if you were to get something, even if it was a point at Dalymount and then go on Monday night too. Like, you're starting to climb that table. We're 8 points behind Pats. I'm not going to get talking about a title talk or nothing like that again. He's
used the words, boys. That's all I'm saying, folks. He's used the word title in the sentence.
I'm just saying how unpredictable this league is, and you just don't know like what a couple of ones on the bounce can do. Now, if you're asking me, I don't think we could ever make up that gap or get a bit of momentum or consistency in results. There's no signs of that. No. We've got 2 in the bounce, but you're battling for them. But no, I think Bows will suit it. Always does suit us. It's a great place to watch the football. The players love playing on it, and you always do see great entertainment down there. Like, so, I know just speaking, you hear James Clarke. He's buzzing to get back. Probably a wee bit apprehensive about what kind of receptions he's going to get, but you would expect him to get. He was going to leave Dalymount anyway. Like, he was going to go across the water. There was teams in Scotland.
Yeah.
So I think it probably just sticks in their throat that they went the rival in the League of Ireland, but he was their top goal scorer last year. I think he still, like, they were very fond of him down there. So it'll be interesting to see how he reacts. I don't think he's one they sort of shun away from it, like, is he?
No, he'll want to do well. He'll want the team. To be fair to him, he keeps talking about the results, but obviously if he plays well, then Derry will hopefully get a positive result. He wants to keep this run going. He knows himself. He's feeling more at home. You know, he's moved up here, obviously, and he's loving here, and he's starting to get used to the players, the training. Everything else is going to be different. You know, moving to a different city, you don't have your mates, you don't have your family about. You know, so it is a different ball game, and he's now starting to admit himself. He's feeling a lot fitter. He's feeling more at himself, and Derry City fans now should be, you know, really chomping at the bit to see James Clarke, as he could be the boy they tick off in the not going to say second half of the season, but from now on, coming into the sort of crunch games, so many games back to back, and then you back to Brandywell, then you've Europe, so there's still so much they go for, like.
And hopefully, like, Mickey Duffy's back. I think he's probably another week or so away, isn't he? Like, you know, from getting.
Well,
back
he was out before the game. He was out doing laps at Celtic Park running, so that's a good sign. Like, so you know, that's good.
Because when he goes back, I know, and Liam Boyce is there too, potentially sort of getting a wee bit closer as well. They coming back, which gives you great options up top.
Yeah.
So hopefully a lot of things, you know, that are coming good now. I don't know about Brian Maher and how his situation is.
I think it's maybe he get decent enough news from the surgery and for his scan and whatever, but I don't think it's knocking the door yet regarding maybe getting on there.
In that regard, I think we're
well, Eddie Beach has done well.
Outstanding. So
yeah.
But I seen Alan Colley coming out on a side point. They're chatting about the standard of the League of Ireland this year, the quality, technically, the quality of the play and stuff like that. Would you agree? Did you hear his comments? And I know I can understand where he's coming from, but I think a lot of that they do, and we talk about the Celtic Park pitch, but the early stages of the season, you know, where the pitches are getting a hammering, probably has a big say on how teams are playing, like, technically, and how they're knocking it about. I think that's a big factor in it. It
definitely is, and you come then, as I say now, into the better months and the better weather, you'd like to see better performances. But I also think too that maybe Alan's looking at years ago where not everybody was full time. Because everybody is full time, they're all doing video analysis, they're all doing everything, they're seeing everything. Like the days just, you know, of 2 or 3 nights a week training, and then maybe 2 or 3 teams. At the time, it would have been your UCD, your Drogheda weren't full time. You had a few teams that weren't full time.
So you think it's just overanalyze and then more super cautious over the instead of just, like, you know, that you're looking around the dressing room going, like, we're a decent say, we're going to go out and just play our game and that's it.
But I think it's just over. You know, you're not going to see. I will be shocked if we see a Paddy McCourt again, a Joseph Ndo. I don't think you're going to see them type of players anymore. I think it's just everybody is so coached. It's just too much of it, in my opinion. But I just think there's just too much emphasis on formations and how you play, and everybody has to do this, and you know. Listen, it starts from wherever you want to go. Your best league in the world. Some might say the Premier League in England. I would tend to disagree when you look at other leagues, you know. But this is the thing. It's everywhere. There's only certain teams that've got these players that can maybe turn on. You mean Yamal at Barcelona, you pay to watch, but Arsenal's top of the Premier League. They are now again. Are you going to pay to watch Arsenal? No disrespect to Arsenal.
Certainly not.
Well, exactly. I'm certainly not the other. And like, to be fair, we're recording this now here Monday night. We're going to go home and watch United and Brentford. My money's on where this is coming out, obviously on Wednesday. It'll be a classic, obviously. So that's what we're saying, you know what I mean? It's just everywhere. It's just coach, analysis, and I think now the League of Ireland are starting to get to that stage. Yeah. It's just my opinion, to be honest.
Hopefully that's not the case, like, and there's a wee bit of freedom, like, and obviously the academy structures and everything else is going to have a lot to do with that. But you know, I think we're a long way out even talking about academy structures at Derry City at the minute, but that's for a different day.
That's another day.
I'm negative boy in this podcast. I don't know.
That's what I do.
It was just your mood. You came on today and you were
not happy. I'm jolly. The sun was shining. It was great. And then I'm on the negative boy.
But we are actually in new surroundings yet again, by the way, for anybody watching on YouTube.
Exactly.
But this is going to be our home for the remainder of the season anyway, Kev.
Famous last words.
The Derry Journal's new offices here. But if we finish, I suppose, Kev, with a couple of predictions. I know that it's notoriously hard to get a prediction of a Monday night before when there's a game before, but if I'll leave it in your court.
Well, I think just, sort of looking at the way Derry are performing, it's still going to be tight. This is, Derry, to be fair, probably Bohs won for obviously Bohs won at the Brandywell, and that night Devoy, the free kick, but not just his free kick, his performance was very good that night. But I think James Clarke coming back to Dalymount, you've as I say, Winchester's back on there, Darren Markey's starting to find his feet. I think Derry in the counter-attack defensively, I'm still have a wee bit of dodginess defensively. To be fair, Bohs are now conceding. Sam Todd and young Hickey was the two shining lights. They're now starting to concede goals, but they were very good that night at the Brandywell. I'm going to go for a close affair. 1-0 Derry. I think it's going to be tight, and I know they're normally free-flowing and stacks of goals, but I think if Derry win it, they're going to nick it. It might be a 2-1 or a 1-0.
I would have to agree. Yeah, it'll be tight enough as well too. I think I'm going to go with a draw though. To be honest, I don't think. I think Derry would be happy with that.
I think I've done too many draws. That's why I'm bottom it, to be honest with you.
I would go with a score draw with this one. To be honest, I'll go if I'm going to put a scoreline on it. I'm going to go one each. But that for me would be a very positive result for Derry even, and I know that sounds negative again, but it would be considering what we were building up towards, and because Monday night I think the whole Celtic Park, the atmosphere, if we can replicate something similar to it, even if it's not 7,000 at it, but I just think that whole novelty's still there, and the players are responding to it, so I think we're going to win Monday night. You can never say this Derry team's going to just blow a team away. So I'm going to again go maybe 2-0, which would be a pretty emphatic result. So 4 points I'm hoping for over the long weekend, Kev.
I incredibly are going to go for 6 points over the long weekend. I fancy Derry. I think you have to come in with the mentality of Celtic Park, use that momentum. Start the same way you did against Shamrock Rovers, high press, get at Galway and get the crowd going. And I think if you can get that going, and we say it every week, but if you get an early goal, it can go on. I think it's a case of I fancy Derry, and I wouldn't be surprised. Your scoreline, I wouldn't be surprised with a 2-0 victory. And obviously, I know JP will be delighted that we're finishing and mentioning, but the Irish Cup finals on this weekend with Rory Higgins, Will Patchin, Conor Loughery, Kevin Daly. There's enough Derry men in that Korean team that are playing Dungannon on Saturday. So
obviously Jordan McAneff won in
the league we learn.
Well, so
it's good for him to win that there. So it's a case of
representing the Irish League here.
JP loving it, as we know, definitely. But no, I think it would be right to be mentioned to say Rory and the boys that we all know that are in the cup final.
Brilliant occasion.
Wish them all the best in Saturday's final. But more importantly, Derry get 6 points over the next 2 games would be great for Derry and keep that momentum going.